Oh, I just love shopping days. I found so many cool things I can use for cosplay. Now what's this? New shop coming soon. I'll definitely have to come and check it out later. For now, come along, we have some more things to buy. It's nice to finally get a Rarity episode. We haven't had one since Inspiration Manifestation over a year ago.
Was that the pony post?
You know, I often wonder how often Rarity has something ordered to her store. Oh.
Strawberry, cinnamon, cilantro, salutations!
Considering her ability to climb up walls, I'm starting to think Pinky is part spider.
I bet you're wondering what warrants such a welcome. Well, that welcome is warranted by a pony that whisked up a warm batch of strawberry, cinnamon, cilantro cupcakes.
Someone's been practicing alliteration. Come to think of it, there's a lot of that in this episode.
Burst my buttons, Rarity! I've already put a pin in the first piece of the pattern. Marketing to the mares!
I have this letter for you, Rarity. The post pony was going to deliver it, but after his strawberry, cinnamon, cilantro cupcake, he was feeling kinda queasy.
Man, those post ponies have the worst job ever.
So now I can fulfill my dream of opening a boutique in Canterlot!
Wow, Rarity is actually making progress towards her dreams. Granted, we've seen her do fashion-related things and design for high-profile clients, but there wasn't anything that seemed very permanent. I didn't feel like Rarity's accomplishments were actually building up to anything, and that she would be chained down to Ponyville forever. It's nice to see that she's beginning to branch out in a more permanent fashion, though it's a little odd for the show to be taking such a big step. Having Rarity move and run a store in Canterlot? I mean, it's good for her and all, but what about... Hold on a second. What's that, Miss Exposition?
I'm so impressed you used the huge bonus she earned making the costumes for Sapphire Shore's Equestria-wide tour to open the second boutique.
Second boutique? As in she's not moving to Canterlot. Oh. And here I thought they were going through with a major change that would totally rock the boat and make for an interesting conflict between Rarity's obligations in Ponyville and her personal aspirations. Oh, tut-tut. Silly me.
No, those hugs don't look nubby. They look scrubby.
You know, I don't think we've ever gotten to see any real interactions between Rarity and Pinkie Pie. When you think about it, they both are technically creative type ponies. It would be cool to see them collaborate on some kind of a project. I don't think Rarity would trust Pinkie Pie with anything fashion related, but a dessert might not be out of the realm of possibilities. I knew from the start she was going to be trouble. I instantly compared her to Siri from the Rarity Takes Manhattan episode and was already getting my torch and pitchfork ready. To my surprise, she was actually very friendly towards the other ponies, unlike most of the snooty Canterlot folks we've come to know and loathe.
I knew I needed a manager for Canterlot Carousel, so when Sassy showed me her resume, and I saw that she worked in all of the finest boutiques in Canterlot, I hired her right on the spot.
Management tip number 1. Always check the references. Seems like most of this trouble could have been avoided if Rarity knew about the type of pony she was dealing with. Plus, didn't she state later in the episode that she didn't want to be a part of another failed boutique? To me, that implies she was either fired multiple times, or she ran a lot of other boutiques into the ground. Then again, Rarity does come from a town where everyone kind of takes each other on their word, so I guess she wouldn't think to check with any of Sassy's references. Either that or her attention to detail switch was turned off. Oops. I wonder why they didn't even consider asking Celestia or Luna to model the dresses for them. I mean, sure, they are rulers, but the main 6 are a lot more casual with them now, especially since Twilight is now royalty. Now I'm sure they would be way too afraid to ask Luna or Celestia for that kind of a favor, but I'm surprised that no one even thought about it. It kind of makes sense considering that 2 of the dresses are modeled after them. Oh well, I guess it doesn't really matter, though it would be cool to see those 2 in Rarity's gowns.
Welcome to the grand opening of Canterlot Carousel!
For a pony that's supposed to be super concerned about the success of Rarity's boutique, her actions are awfully malicious. Now, even though these tricks weren't planned, they did make Rarity's presentation pop, and Rarity did a good job with rolling with the punches. Maybe I judged Sassy too soon. Maybe she's not that bad after all. Maybe she's just...
I think the rain in stain is too difficult to explain.
Okay, hold up. First of all, you do not interrupt your boss in the middle of a grand presentation, and you certainly don't undermine her authority in front of the customers and potentially influential ponies. In the real world, Little Miss Sassy Pants would have been fired on the spot, or at least chewed out for pulling a stunt like that. And then she had the nerve to turn around and steal Rarity's thunder to reveal the signature dress? Really? I'm sorry, but I just can't buy into the whole misunderstood but well-meaning angle they were trying to work for Sassy. She is clearly trying to get all of the attention while making Rarity do all the hard work. People like that irk me to no end. And notice that all Sassy cared about was the princess dress. I think it's because she named it. I have to give Rarity some praise for keeping her cool with all of this craziness going on. I think she's drawing a lot from her lesson from Green Isn't Your Color in that she's happy as long as people are enjoying her work. While the attention and spotlight are nice and fun, she recognizes that she doesn't need to be the center of attention.
100 orders? All at one time?
According to my pattern, the next piece is the success of the signature dress. So I do not see the problem.
Of course you don't see the problem, you haughty little... Ugh. What in Celestia's name made her think it was a good idea to take 100 orders for a dress that only one pony can make? She is just so irritating. And you are being way too calm about this. A new employee just blatantly disrespected you in front of your friends and your customers during a grand opening. Your reaction is just mild annoyance at best when you should be furious. And then Sassy unleashes her own brand of manipulation to get out of trouble. I guess she learned that from running other stores into the ground without dragging her own reputation down with them.
Are you sure you don't want your friends to help you make the dresses?
No, Sassy. These orders are my responsibility.
Now this, I love. Rarity is clearly implementing what she learned from the Manhattan episode, and she refuses to take her friends for granted by making them take on her responsibilities.
All I have to do is stick to my plan so I can deliver each and every princess dress in keeping with my rules of rarity.
Rules of Rarity, or Art of the Dress Part 2, is a wonderful song to add to Rarity's impressive melodic resume. In case you haven't noticed, I enjoyed this song. I love the Celtic instruments used in the beginning and the happy feeling through the song. I feel like it's a callback or parody of another song, but I'm just not sure what that song is. While Art of the Dress focuses more on the process behind making dresses, Rules of Rarity focuses more on the passion that drives her to do what she does. Just looking at the lyrics, it almost sounds like Rarity's making wedding dresses for ponies. The song takes a sadder dip as Sassy pushes Rarity to basically stay in the shadows and work her hooves to the bone, while she puts on a happy face and pimps out the princess dress while literally pushing Rarity's other designs into a closet somewhere. Honestly, what store does she go to where they only have one dress? That's not even good marketing sense. The second half of the song shows a much more depressed Rarity who is just mass-producing a dress that no longer inspires her just to keep up with the orders that Sassy carelessly took in. It takes a much more uplifting tone as inspiration strikes Rarity again and she begins to sew gems onto a gown that some pony had ordered to give it some flair. Freaking Sassy comes in and starts cracking the whip when Rarity wants to take a break to show the customer the gown, as if Rarity needs her flipping permission. Rarity, please remember that you are the boss in this business, not Sassy. In my book, Sassy reaches a new low when she encourages Rarity to show the new dress to the customer, knowing what her reaction would be. Sassy didn't even try to convince Rarity to not do this or explain why it was a bad idea. I think she did it basically to break Rarity's spirit and embarrass her so that she wouldn't try to change the dress again. Seriously, am I the only one who hates this mare at this point?
They're
Fine, but they're not what I ordered, are they?
Now here, I don't really blame the customer. She ordered what she ordered and expected to get just that. The gems might not have been to her taste even though Rarity liked them. And even though she spoke with a stern tone, she actually wasn't rude, so I'm not taking any points off for her. Now, dejected and heartbroken, Rarity becomes a drone that makes those dresses while Sassy just soaks up all the glory.
We've gotten another 100 new orders for the princess dress!
Now this is the last straw for Rarity. She is not going to make any more of those darn princess dresses, and she's also finally going to put Sassy in her place. Go ahead, Rarity. Tear her a new one. Really put her in her place.
Stop! This is not your boutique! And if this is what success in Canterlot looks like, I want no part of it!
Really? After all that Sassy's done this entire episode, that's all you're going to say to her? Well, that's disappointing. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be feeling bad for Sassy right now, but I am just not one of them. To me, they were setting up Sassy to look like Siri 2.0. And honestly, I think somewhere in the conception of her character, they decided that they wanted her to be good and maybe misunderstood, probably so they don't have to do a redemption episode later. If you want her to be an attention-grabbing mare who doesn't like to share the spotlight, then write her like that into the end. If you want her to be a well-meaning, albeit pushy sales mare, then don't make her so eager to step on Rarity's toes and outright embarrass her in front of customers. Considering how smart Sassy is, you cannot tell me that she wasn't at least vaguely aware of how much she was stepping over Rarity. Well, even though Rarity didn't react the way I wanted her to, at least she took possession of her store back.
Whoa, this dress completely speaks to my soul.
You know, they really should have brought in Tara Strong to use her Raven voice for this goth pony, and then her sister over here could have been Starfire's voice. I mean, if you're going for a Raven impression, you might as well go all the way.
Perhaps it'd be even more taken with this one. It's exactly what I've been dreaming of!
You know, that gown played a significantly smaller role than I originally thought it would. Well, everything turned out alright. Rarity and Sassy made up, and Rarity decided to keep the boutique open, and everything is fine and dandy.
Oh my gosh, Estelle! Do you have the princess dress?
Isn't she the same pony from the locker room at the Cloudsteel factory? I guess she's dating one of the workers there. Anyway, this episode wasn't exactly complicated, but I did enjoy watching it despite my, annoyance, to say the least. I always love it when the main six get closer to their dreams. I don't really have a big fix for this episode other than maybe being consistent with the characterization of Sassy, but that's just nitpicking. I give this episode, 7.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching, everybody. See y'all next time.